All right. What's up, everybody? It's Justin. We back. So, I'm doing something a little different this time. Usually I react to music, but Knox Hill, he's one of the greatest, like in terms of breaking down music and stuff. But here he's basically reacting to the album in reverse, The Death of Slim Shady. So that's something that I wanted to do, but I wanted to watch his breakdown of it, so that way we can understand it more better. Because this guy, I mean, like I said, he understands everything, and I want to understand it as well, the reverse concept, because I have my own theory on the way it was supposed to be written, but I want to see what the hell's going on with the whole reverse take. So, without further ado, this is Knox Hill. You know, make sure you guys go over here, subscribe to Knox Hill, because, like I said, he's one of the best in the game. So let's watch it. 11 minutes. Let's go.
We've been listening to Eminem's album Wrong. So this past weekend I did a live stream and we listened to the full album from back to front. Unfortunately that live stream's blocked. I'm trying to get it cleared, but it's an over 3-hour live stream. So I think this is a good opportunity just to make a separate video, kind of highlight some of the findings that we had on there. Also look at the specific video that started this whole conspiracy and theory that was being passed around like Skittles on Twitter. So we're gonna look at that too. And since then, I've also had a chance to listen to the album fully from front to back. So you front to backers or back to fronters, whatever Karma Sutra position you prefer. Let's dive into this one. All right, so the headline is T-Dos back to front tells a whole different story.
So Knox Hill, he is always with this sexual innuendos. That's just hilarious. Back to fronters, front to backers. Okay.
We start with Somebody Save Me, which you guys have pointed it out has now been submitted as a single, the third single from this album. We started with Houdini, we had Toby, and I really like the decision to do Somebody Save Me, because I think the back half of Eminem's album, when you get to Temporary, when you get to Somebody Save Me, it feels like a preview of a more mature Eminem, kind of where his music can grow. And
yeah, I got that concept too. Because like I said, like the Somebody Save Me and the Temporary felt like it was something that I felt like wasn't really meant to be on that album, just in terms of the whole concept of the album itself. But I mean, like Temporary was a letter to Haley before he dies, right? A letter to Haley before he dies so she can get over his death. And then in Somebody Save Me, it was him as if he had died from the overdose that took place in 2007. So that's how it fits into the storyline of this album in terms of the concept of it. But those songs were very well, it was sad Eminem, and it was more Marshall Mathers than anything. So yeah, mature Eminem is a good way to put it.
And evolve artistically. Not the regression and battle that we had with Slim Shady, which while was amazing for nostalgia, I just feel like M going into his 50s, looking at the future, and it doesn't seem like he's stopping anytime soon. But the big question an artist has to ask themselves is, where do we go from here? And how do we evolve? Look at Nas, for instance. I mean, he's killing it later on in his career. His King's Disease series with Hit Boy has been incredible. And that's like that mature, just self-assured growth and evolution within hip-hop with the sounds and the styles.
Okay, so Nas is an artist that I do recognize as one of the GOATs, but I've only heard like this much of his discography, right? So Nas is an artist that I do want to check out on this channel. So we're going to be reacting to a lot of Nas just because I want to. Wu-Tang is another group that I'm not familiar with. Like in the, what was it? Bad Habits? No, in Renaissance. When he said, you pricks would find something wrong with 36 Chambers. That's something that I haven't heard. I haven't heard 36 Chambers. So that's another one that I do want to get into. I want to listen to Wu-Tang so I can understand the culture of hip-hop a little bit more better, you know what I mean? Because that part of hip hop I'm not inclined with Method Man and Redman and all them. Like also one of the, I think was it You God or Woo God or something like that from Wu Tang. Eminem referenced also in one of his songs, and I didn't get that reference because I didn't know who it was. So, yeah, Wu Tang, Nas, more Jay-Z, and then we can even go back, way back, like with Melly Mel and them, LL Cool J, and go back from the beginning of time. So if you guys want to see that, like a trip down memory lane, because it's music that I haven't heard, we can go definitely get into that. Let's continue.
That I think you could see a possible path for Eminem going that way, and he got more raw and he got more personal, and it did feel more matured after he killed Shady on Guilty Conscience too. But anyways, let's read this one through and see what we got here. We start with Somebody Save Me, foreshadowing Marshall's death.
But did he kill Shady in Guilty Conscience too? Because at the end, when he calls Paul and Paul hangs up, there's that maniacal laugh.
Then Guess Who's Back, the skit, which foreshadows the return of Shady. Now, foreshadowing happened on the front to back as well. A lot of people who claim that, Eminem spitting on Shady's grave, it's actually the other way around. And they're like, why would he start with that? Well, the same argument is used for the back to front theory, right? The foreshadowing is consistent throughout. So if you do it from front to back, he is foreshadowing Shady's death and what he tries to achieve. Those are the key words on Guilty Conscience. Then we go into Toby. Somebody.
Yeah, see? So he was hinting at that too, what he tries to achieve. Because he didn't kill Slim Shady. I don't think Slim Shady's dead. I think we'll probably see another Slim Shady version, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah. And I haven't heard the bonus tracks. I want to hear the bonus tracks.
Buddy, shit does not pan out. Shady Shadow shows up. Makes sense. Bad one. 1 minute you're here, the next you're gone. It seems like Marsh's job is done. He pulled off his stunt. Temporary, his letter to Haley before he dies. Hint. All right, let's see where we keep progressing with this. I mean, it makes logical sense, and this is kind of what we pointed out on the live stream. Eminem is a very complex writer. There are a lot of meta themes going on throughout this album, right? And it just feels like we're cherry picking lyrics so that we can logically connect it and make it work. And this is what we'll do on the internet. And that's the beauty of it, is that, we will run with narratives and we will just focus on the things which fulfill those narratives and don't necessarily go against it. But there's definitely a good logical flow that is logically connected and make it work.
I gotta hear what he said there again.
And this lyric themes going on throughout this album, right? And it just feels like we're cherry picking lyrics so that we can logically connect it and make it work. And this is what we'll do on the internet. And that's the beauty of it, is that, we will run with narratives and we will just focus on the things which fulfill those narratives and don't necessarily go against it. But there's definitely a good logical flow to this from going from back to front.
Okay. So basically what he's saying there, it's kind of like, I'm usually going to turn things more political because I'm very into politics, but what he basically is saying there is like echo chambers, kind of like the algorithm on YouTube, right? So if you're searching for certain stuff on YouTube, say you're searching for more Trump videos and Trump positive videos, well, that's all you're going to get recommended. You're hardly ever going to see the left-wing perspective of everything, and versus the other way, if you're just searching for Trump is a bad guy and Kamala Harris and this and that, like basically all left-wing stuff, then you're just going to get, well, more so you're going to get more left-wing stuff, and you're probably never going to see a right-wing version of the argument. So you're just feeding your own narrative, and you're basically getting confirmation of your biases and your way of thinking. And you're never hearing the argument to it. So you're thinking that you're correct, even though you may be wrong. You know what I mean? And that goes both ways. And also say like the flat earthers, right? How they come up with a conclusion, the earth is flat, and then they find supporting evidence to support that, but they already have the conclusion, so they didn't hypothesize, they didn't do the basic scientific theory, right, or method. They didn't ask a question, hypothesize, test, and all that other good stuff, the scientific method, and then come up with a conclusion. Right? They started with the conclusion and worked backwards so they can support their theory, even though it's completely false. You know what I mean? So that's the way that works.
Head honcho, writing is on the wall, Ezekiel, the story of Ezekiel. I talked about the religious imagery, and then obviously shouting out easy. Marshall's creation day would be Slim Shady, you'll be a stand till I die-do. GC2. Guilty Conscience 2 is a turning point for me, right? Slim Shady laughs after Paul hangs up on him, showing it wasn't a dream. Breaking news, Slim Shady is showing Marshall on the shit he has started. Slim Shady begins viciously at the end. Whichever way you want to go with this theory, if you go from back to front or front to back, the pivotal turning point is Guilty Conscience 2. I said this on the live. It's one of the most important tracks on the album. And I think the real reason why you can have such narrative holes is because there are narrative holes to this album. Because even if you listen from front to back, the album is titled The Death of Slim Shady, but Guilty Conscience 2 hints with that laugh and shows that it was all a dream. And Eminem even plays on themes after that of alternate timelines and realities. So the whole goal and buildup of the front of the album, this battle, this dichotomy between Shady and this addiction to Shady, and acknowledging that Shady helped to create his career, that the controversy has helped him.
Yeah, Guilty Conscience 2 is the most pivotal song on this album. I'm trying to remember those songs because I haven't heard it. So Somebody Save Me. What was the order? I'm at 425. Okay. So Somebody Save Me. Guess Who's Back? Toby. Bad One. Bad One was one of my favorite songs on this album. Temporary, Head Honcho, Guilty Conscience 2, and then I'm at 425.
Mercy has helped him to grow, that Shady is a part of him like an addiction, but also the acknowledgement that he did struggle with addiction, and that was when he fully embraced Shady. So there's that parallel of being addicted to this persona and this ego that he created, because it goes hand in hand with his success and who he is as an artist today, but also the drug addiction, which almost killed him. And that's where you have the turning point in Temporary and the maturity of Eminem. But see, the whole buildup of that is all about him struggling to let go of Shady. And then Guilty Conscience 2, he finally decides to rid himself of Shady. All to find out that it was fruitless in the end because it didn't happen. He dreamed about it subconsciously. So the whole album is a lie in a sense, but also I think it really sets up for a B-side because...
That's what I was thinking, honestly. Because like I said, and Guilty Conscience 2, he laughs at the end. So given the fact that it's a dream means that Shady's still alive. Because all Guilty Conscience 2 wasn't him killing off Shady. It was more so him like owning that he is Shady. And he's just accepting that fact. It's not him ending him. Oh, I hope we get a second album. That would be dope.
Shady is not gone. Shady is not dead. No matter which way you look at it, from back to front or front to back, Shady still lives. I'm afraid. You should be afraid too. Then we have Houdini. Paul calls back and says, good luck. This is his rebuttal to Marshall calling him. He thinks that Marshall is fucking with him because he's on the tangent again. So now we're trying to take it the other way and use the Paul call. Even though like the theme of Paul calling and leaving messages has been a consistent throughout Eminem albums. To me, I thought it was the nostalgia of calling back to that. So it could go either way. I mean, like I said on Guilty Conscience 2, it's interesting because Paul calls before if you go front to back. Right? And he's trying to get Marshall to stop. And then Marshall all of a sudden has this realization that Paul's been telling him for years to stop saying this wild shit and trying to get himself canceled. And that's where Paul is just incredulous and hangs up the phone on him. But it was going the other way. Also, I think Houdini's interesting because Houdini is the first single. And that's foreshadowing for me. Another consistent theme of this foreshadowing, this Houdini. Nothing is what it appears to be. Abracadabra, like pulling a rabbit, B-rabbit, Slim Shady out of his hat. Abracadabra.
Okay, that was unnecessary, Knox Hill, but I see what you did there. That was dope. That was a little little play on words there. Are you scheming up some bars right here? Funny pause. Hold up. Let me do you some justice. There you go. Okay, so yeah, I like that take. Because Houdini is a magician, and poof. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. That makes a lot of sense. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, he's just playing on the whole dream aspect, basically. Because it starts with trying to stop Shady, and then him morphing into Shady. Well, Shady and Marshall. Which is also guilty conscience, too, because they morph into each other, basically. When their voices start. And that was my favorite part of that whole... Probably my favorite part of the whole album is that part. When they start merging. Yeah. Alright.
Is Foreshadowing the album of illusion, right? The illusion that Shady is dead when he's not truly dead, because Eminem doesn't win on Guilty Conscience in the end. B-side is coming, I'm telling you. And then also there was the interview, right, where 50 said he was on the album. We had no 50 Cent feature on this. There was no Royce the 5'9" feature either. I think we're getting more. Road Rage, Slim Dies, Marshall's hair blonde.
Oh, I really hope that he just drops it randomly like Kamikaze. I really hope. Oh, I am so sorry. We just got out of work. And it's what, 6 in the morning? Just switched nights, so yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go.
Blonde again, hence Marshall rapping like a blonde hair version of himself the rest of the way. Well, that's the Shady alter ego that he battles with throughout it. So that makes sense. Fuel, the rappers come into Heathen, I Need It For Me. Antichrist, Cobain put the gauge.
And Marshall hair blonde again, hence Marshall rapping like a blonde hair version of himself the rest of the way.
To his brain, I'm going out with a bang again. Marshall voice. Lucifer, switching. First I must weave rhymes, then I'm going to leave eyes to a state of disbelief. A setup for the finale of it all. Starts to get really good. I mean, it's not the best laid out in terms of writing. Again, there's a lot of cherry picking of moments here. All you got, Slim telling Marshall he ain't shit without him. Notice Marshall's weariness and tone on this point has completely taken over, hence the opening. Or you could argue, if you're a front to backer, that he's tired of Shady throughout his whole career. Evil. Woke up with an attitude today, not the mood to play, stuck in my ruthless ways. I mean, this is really the crescendo of Shady if you're going the other way, right? This just rises up. Brand new dance when he just trolls the shit out of Christopher Reeves. And then Trouble. All right, here, drink this. Let me go, bitch. Marshall says as he's tied up. Then Shady says, little pussy, what's wrong? Thought you were dreaming, huh? And then obviously this person thinks that they hit a bunch of squares in bingo because they've called it here. And then Habits, you can hear Marshall struggling as he's tied up and gagged. Slim is telling him to eat a pill of some sort to knock him out. I mean, yeah, that still goes from front to back as well. Slim is tied up. Eminem trying to free himself of Shady. This struggle happens, but Shady is winning. Renaissance. This is where it comes back around, isn't it? Slim proceeds to spit his first song without the person that started it all for him, Marshall Mathers. Straight vintage Slim Shady on the track, teasing what's about to be unleashed on the world with side B. And that is Eminem dead and Slim Shady spitting on his grave. It's a fun one. It's a fun course.
Well, we're not going to actually know which story it's going to be. I'm pretty sure Eminem's just watching all these reaction videos and he's just like, I got them all guessing what's going to happen next. Because, honestly, like, we're not going to know until we get that side B. The death of Slim Shady Coup de Grace 2. Like, we're not going to know which story's playing out. Like, is that going to be just pure Slim Shady? Or is that going to be Eminem, Marshall Mathers? Okay.
A fun course of Inception. I better call up Lee spitting on his grave. It's a fun one. It's a fun course of Inception. I better call up Leonardo DiCaprio. I listen from back to front and then from front to back. And what I will say is from a music making, meta engineering producer perspective, I feel like the album listens better from front to back. And I feel like there was more artistic intention to go from front to back. And
I feel the same. Because I'm trying to play it like, somebody save me. And then you go to Toby. Toby McGuire got bit by a spider. But see, me, it was a goat. And then you go to bad one. Temporary head honcho, guilty conscience 2. Houdini, road rage, fuel, antichrist, Lucifer. See, because I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, just in the sense of the way it goes, right? So you got road rage, fuel, antichrist, Lucifer, evil. I feel like those don't go in order that way, backwards. Because evil he's breaking out the evil, and then Lucifer, the devil, and then the Antichrist. Because the Antichrist is supposed to come after Lucifer, no? Let's see. Alright. Hold up. I pulled it out, so I don't think we can see. But, okay, so the Antichrist is the son of Satan. The Antichrist was the perfectly evil human being because he was completely opposite of the perfectly good human being, Jesus Christ. So he was made to be the opposite of Jesus. So the Antichrist is the son of Satan. Okay, so hold on. I feel like I just cracked something. Hold on. Oh, the hell. Isaiah. Okay, so alright, so my thinking, right? And this goes to biblical thing, which is crazy because Eminem is not biblical. And that's the part that's getting me. He's not really biblical. But apparently he is because he's very, very well versed in this. Because, alright, so here is, and I'm not very religious either, that's why I'm Googling all this, but Isaiah 14:12. How you are fallen from heaven, Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down on the ground, you who weaken the nations. Right? So he started rebelling against God and he started being evil, in which the reason why he was cast down to hell, right? Ezekiel 28:16, right? Ezekiel is head honcho, him introducing that. By the abundance of your trading, you became filled with violence within, and you sinned. Therefore, I cast you as a profane thing out of the mountain of God, and I destroyed you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the fiery stones. All right? So, so 5 is evil. Lucifer started acting evil, right? And then, well, there was an evil presence, I guess. And then they found out it was Lucifer. Lucifer was cast down out of the palace of God. And then Lucifer's son, the Antichrist, was born in order to be the complete opposite of Jesus Christ, right? here? I think I figured something out. Knox Hillman, if you're watching this, I doubt you're going to be seeing this, but if you see this, please let me know if I'm onto something here and see if I'm thinking about this in a completely different way. Here's Revelations 12:7 through 9. Satan thrown out of heaven, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail. Nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So great dragon was cast out, the serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, so the dragon is the devil, and then his angels. I want to know who his angels are. And then King James, the New Version. Scripture taken from King James, the New Version. So that's all this is taken from. Did I just figure something out, man? That's crazy if I did, because I'm not even biblical like that. Oh, I gotta listen to the album again. And I need to listen to it like fully through so we can see if we catch those references from the Bible. Because Marshall, he's the Antichrist. Because Lucifer, I mean he was playing this. Yeah, I think maybe. Y'all let me know if you think I'm onto something here. But that's crazy. All right, let's continue.
And the reason I say that is because songs like Temporary, songs like Somebody Save Me, those are very raw, very personal songs that go so into the deep end. Normally when you have an album, it's a journey, right? It's an experience. Those type of songs are not album starters. They're not something you kick off your album with or you run through the intro with. Those are things that, you start off the album strong. A lot of rappers, we like to get lyrical on the front end of the album. You hit them hard with stuff, and then after a few songs in, you gave them some singles, you gave them that hip hop, maybe you start to switch it up a little bit. That's when you start to experiment. And then as the album progresses, like midway through or even later on, that's when sonically it sets up for great moments and points to do those very raw, very personal songs. Temporary does not feel like it's a song, it's an early song on an album. Neither does Somebody Save Me. Those definitely feel like later songs. And what I will say is the intro is very important, right? Somebody Save Me as an intro doesn't make as much sense sonically as Renaissance.
That's true. I mean, just that argument alone disproves the backwards. Because, yeah, why would you start with Somebody Save Me? Like, when you first put on... Hold on, I'll play a little bit. This is gonna get copyrighted. Oh well. Let me see. Where is it? I'll play it through here. So which one sounds better when you were listening to it? The Death of Slim Shady album. Does it sound better like this? Right. Or would it sound better starting with this?
Daddy? Come eat.
I'm so tired.
Just come eat.
I'm not being there, man, I promise. Stop.
Okay, wake up.
Shut the door. Somebody save me.
Yeah. It don't sound like an album starter. Especially because it's raw. Like he said, it's raw. And that's just something that, I mean, sure, if you heard that from the very opening, you'd be like, what is this? And it would captivate you. But it's not like Renaissance. Renaissance does start it better.
Renaissance is that typical Eminem barring out. He's teasing us. He's giving that nostalgic, shady feel that we've gotten on a number of Eminem intro songs to start an album. I just think there's more fluidity from front to back. But what's fun about this is, again, the way that he's written this so cleverly, and he's also left these glaring holes of not truly defeating Shady. We're all confused. That's why people are debating. That's why you have front to back or back to front, because he's made it purposefully confusing about who's truly in control, because he's still confused and he's still conflicted and fighting Shady and his demons throughout the album, and he doesn't know what's real and what isn't with these dream sequences and just that fluidity of the alarm clock ringing throughout it and those little moments of foreshadowing, which sets up perfectly for a side B. I think.
Okay, so my question is, y'all seen this? Hold on, let me see if you guys see this. Yeah, y'all can see this. Hold up, let me bring this up. I'm gonna disappear for a little. And settings. How do I do this? Hold on, pause with me. Well, I don't know, but if you guys can see this, so within the book of Exodus, God makes the command that sorcerers, sorceresses, anybody who participates in magical arts should not live. This is because magic is directly related to Satan and his demons. Magic is not what Hollywood makes it out to be. It is not full of magical sparkles, happiness, and goodness. It's evil. Houdini. Right? I think I'm onto something. I honestly think it's this. I think it's just all one biblical reference. That's crazy. Yeah, Houdini.
What all of us can agree on, no matter which way you want to listen to this album, is there's got to be more. There has to be another sequel to this, because we are not yet finished. And Houdini planted the seeds of that illusion. But anyways, what do you guys think? Listen, at this point, I don't think you're wrong either way. Listen to the album how you want to listen to it. Whichever way you enjoy it, then do that. I know there's a number of people that, they love classic Shady. So for them, they love listening to the album from back to front because it ends so strong for them in that Shady Eminem mode. But comment down below, let me know what you guys think, kind of how you feel about this, what you've been enjoying, what your favorite songs are, and which way we're going. And listen, I will see you guys for side B. All right, I got more work to do.
All right, so thank you, Knox, man. I appreciate it. Drop that like for you. But yeah, I feel like that's what's going on, especially because everything's a biblical reference. You have evil, which is, well, not inherently a biblical reference, but that's where evil began, right? In the sense, if you believe in the Bible. And Lucifer is the one that created it. And he spawned the Antichrist. Houdini, a magician, magic related with the devil. Head honcho is a story of Ezekiel. Ezekiel is referenced or mentions the casting of Satan down. I think we got it. I think it's just one biblical reference, and this guy's fighting his demons, like he said. But man, it's a headache thinking about it, like in this aspect. So, y'all let me know exactly what you guys think is going on with this. Knox, man, if you do get a chance to check this video out, I hope you watched it through, man. First off, if you are watching it, let me know what you think of the video in general. And second of all, let me know what you think of that concept that I just thought of. But without further ado, y'all like the video if you made it this far. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos to come. And yeah, comment down below what you guys want to see next. Let me know your thoughts as well. But it's Justin. I'm out. Peace.